Is Five Nights at Freddy's and Five Nights at Candy's connected? Well, in Five Nights at Candy's, you play as Mary Schmidt, which is a last name you may remember. Mary is taken to the Rat and Cat Theater while her brother, Mike Schmidt, is away at camp. While in the theater, you play hide and seek, and as you're hiding, you witness a double homicide. This is because as you're hiding in the closet, you're in an argument between two different workers. Apparently, the rat guy came to work drunk as hell and is trying to strangle the puppeteer that called him out on it. The puppeteer pushes him, but the rat falls backwards and breaks his neck on the table. And you may be thinking, isn't this a case of self-defense? No, because afterwards, another performer, the cat, came in, saw the dead body, and tried calling the police. So what does this calm and reasonable puppeteer do, you may be asking? He strangles the cat to cover the evidence and basically self-reports as he calls in that a murder happened, but not that he did it. After the whole event, the puppeteer goes on to become a successful movie actor by playing a psychopath in a serial killer role. I wonder why he's so good at it. Mary, after witnessing all of this, is a traumatized child that tries to regress and repress the memory. A couple years later, they have a grand reopening of Cat and Rats where instead of using costume actors, they have animatronics. Except for the fact that these animatronics are haunted by the murdered cat and rat actors. As you and your brother are at the show, one of the haunted animatronics, the rat, attacks him.
Is
that the bite of 87? That event worsens your PTSD and you begin having even worse nightmares about the whole event going on. You attend therapy and the therapist helps remember all your repressed memories of the crime that occurred all those years ago. The therapist urges you to go to the police and reopen the investigation. The court ordeal leads to the puppeteer being found guilty and executed for his crimes. You have one more nightmare about the puppeteer, but you win and finally rid the burden that you carry. But this is not over because remember those haunted animatronics from earlier? Well, the grand reopening I glossed over last time turned the Rat and Cat Theater into Candy's Burgers and Fries, where the haunted cat and rat animatronics slimed out the workers that were in the factory. Those workers' souls were fused into the animatronics and one of them became Candy, the mascot of the new establishment. Fast forward a few decades, you go to Freddy's Pizzeria with your brother Mike Schmidt, but you get spooked out by the animatronic the puppet because it reminds you of the puppeteer. Later, you become a night guard at Candy's factory, just like how your brother went to Freddy's Pizzeria and became a night guard there too. The reason is because two kids went missing near the factory, so the company hired a night guard to monitor it basically. During your shift, you fall asleep because this job is kind of boring as hell, but there was some pretty big consequences to you doing that. This is because the two missing kids were at the factory and were being stuffed into the animatronics. Mary was promptly fired for letting that happen and she feels super guilty because she basically let those two kids die. But a few months later, you are rehired because surprisingly, there's not a lot of night guards that want to work at a haunted factory for this amount of money. The two kids you let die earlier possess the new Candy and Cindy animatronics. This new Candy replaces the old Candy because the old Candy attacked an adult that was bullying a child. This led to the decommissioning of the old Candy and is now replaced by the new Candy. Since the pizzeria in FNAF 2 closes down, this led to an explosion in popularities for Candy's Burgers and Fries. A lot of the animatronics are sent there and you move over there to go and continue doing your job. However, you are promptly fired again for quote-unquote tampering with the animatronics, just like your brother. Fast forward a few years, you have a child named Marilyn Schmidt and the Candy and Cindy animatronics are replaced again. This is because the haunted rat slimed out one of the old security guards that used to work here after you were fired, and this led to an investigation. However, the new squared Candy animatronic is framed by the rat and is then disassembled. The restaurant now closes due to the incident and the animatronics factory gets closed and abandoned. Fast forward 13 years, you play as Marilyn Schmidt, Mary Schmidt's daughter who just lost a bet to her friends. Your friends dare you to go and survive 5 nights at Candy's abandoned factory, because of course they did. She barely manages to survive the dastardly duo of the haunted rat and cat animatronics and she burns the factory down to the ground. And that's all for today, so subscribe because this is a red video and watch this video now.